Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Rally Now Podcast. This is my first ever English podcast with a pro player. Wow. I'm so excited. And today I'm honored to have Vivian Glozman with me on the show. Vivian is traveling in Asia recently, and it's a huge opportunity for this channel to talk to a pro pickleball like her to the fans around the world, especially to the Mandarin pickleball community. So before we start, I want to give a chance for Vivian to say something in Mandarin and greet our fans locally, just so they know a little bit about like your Mandarin level overall. All right?
Well, it's not good, but 大家好，我是 Vivian Glozman， 我很高兴来到你来我往。
Wow.
That's all I have.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you for practicing 你来我往. That made my day. And for those who don't know Vivian, I'll give a quick intro. Vivian is currently a pro pickleball player. She climbed ever top 7 in the world, and she rated top 4 DUOPRO rated players around the world as well. And she this year played at MLP Team Chicago Slice, even won the Australia Open women's double, gold medal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then I think she had a DUOPRO over 6.0. That's the highest I've ever talked to by far. And most importantly, I think if I'm not mistaken, Vivian, you are half Taiwanese and half Ukrainian by background. So that's interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So welcome to the show, Vivian. And for today, we're going to, dial in mostly English, but feel free to switch to Mandarin if you want to express any certain phrases.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. So to get things maybe warmed up, Vivian, I have a bit of rapid fire, quick questions for you. All right?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you 2 things for you to choose.
Okay.
All right? And just choose randomly based on your quick, immediate actions.
Okay.
For example, like tea or coffee?
Tea.
Pickleball or tennis?
Pickleball.
Indoor court, outdoor court?
Outdoor.
Drive or drop?
Drive.
And Federer or Nadal?
Federer.
Nice. All right. Thank you for the sportsmanship. So maybe we'll start with your background. Okay. As I mentioned, it's interesting to know that you are half Taiwanese and half Ukrainian. So maybe let's start with your family background. Maybe give us a bit of overall understanding, like your family, where you grew up, and those things. Okay.
Yeah. So my mom is Taiwanese. So I've been to Taiwan maybe like 8, 9, 10 times, a lot of times. But this is my first time in Taipei.
Nice.
So because my family lives in Tainan. So I actually got to see them 2 days ago for a couple of days, and that was really nice. And it was my grandma, my aunts, my cousin. I also have family here in Taipei, and this is my first time staying with them. So it's been really nice getting to see old family, new family. And then, my dad's side is Ukrainian. I've never been to Ukraine, but my dad's side lives in Las Vegas, so I get to see them frequently. But yeah, that's kind of... Oh, I guess I grew up in Bellevue, Washington.
Okay.
And my whole life I've been in Washington.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And you mentioned this is your first time in Taipei.
Mm-hmm.
What's your overall impression about the city?
Yeah, I'm very, very impressed because Tainan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's more the countryside. So the buildings are not as grand and big. So being in Taipei has been like so cool to see how really advanced the city is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I am from Bellevue near Seattle. Like I'm used to big cities. But when I go to Taiwan, I always think of it as like, farmers market and like, I don't know, like small things. So here it's been really cool. It's so big, so happening. And I would love to move here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Things change so fast, right? Like pickleball, if you will. You had a tennis like background, if I understood correctly. So maybe give us a bit of understanding, like before you're playing pickleball, what was life like for you? Like maybe back in the college days, your NCAA Division One. What would be like your description for the life overall?
Yeah, so whole life played tennis. I started when I was 5 years old. So my parents both played tennis. That's how I got into it. And I guess in high school I was recruited to play Division I tennis. I played at the University of California, Berkeley my freshman year, and then I transferred to the University of Virginia, where I finished out my college career. I also played 1 year at the Air Force Academy.
Wow.
So yeah, it was kind of it was a crazy journey, but I really enjoyed all of the places I was at. I met a lot of people and learned a lot of things. But yeah, tennis was my entire life. I really didn't have that much time to do much else. But given that my career is now back in racket sports, I think I'm lucky that I was pushed to do that.
Yeah. That's fascinating because I guess people probably don't know like how good your tennis was. I did some research, like very, very good.
No.
But you play like Division One, and I suppose there were tournaments, right? Like nationwide. Ever got any like outstanding results or achievements whatsoever?
No. I was very like, I mean, I did play D1, but I don't know. I would like to brag about my sister because she plays Division I tennis at Stanford, and she's won NCAAs, or she won ITA Nationals this year, and she was selected to go to France to be one of the top 3 Americans competing over there. So I don't like to brag about my tennis. I would play D1, but no, my sister takes the show there. Yeah.
But it sounds like there's a strong root of tennis in the family.
Yeah,
right?
Tennis family.
And I suppose you were on the path of like doing something sports after the college?
I was actually pre-med.
Okay.
So a little bit sports because I wanted to go into sports medicine.
Yeah.
But I was taking all, biology, biochemistry, physics. I was doing all the science classes because that's kind of the path I wanted to take. Yeah. And right after graduating, I started working at the hospital and at a nursing home.
Wow.
Because that is how you earn hours to get into school, to be a competitive applicant. So that's actually what I was doing while I was training pickleball and when I was introduced to pickleball. So very, very different life from now.
Before knowing pickleball, what was like your original path or aspiration?
Sports medicine doctor.
Okay,
yeah.
A doctor. Yeah. So from a doctor to a pro pickleball player.
I know, very different.
That's amazing. And give us a bit of breakdown, like how that happened. What was like the fork of the road, and how did you make that bold decision?
Yeah. It was crazy because I did not even know what pickleball was when I was working at the hospital. And I was like so set on earning my hours and getting out of my house. Yeah. I don't know if it's maybe not Asian culture. I think parents like to welcome their kids back, but my dad is not Asian. He's Ukrainian, and he did not want me in the house. So I was very, very set on just putting my head down, working. I was working overtime at the hospital. It was a lot. And then my neighbor, who I call my pickle mom, right? She introduced me to pickleball, and I kind of brushed her off. I said, I don't know what that is, and I'm not really interested in it because I really need to get these hours in and move out.
Yeah.
But she was very, very supportive of my situation and just so helpful in the start of my career. She provided me paddles, which as like a broke college kid, right out of school, I'm not paying like $200, $300 for a paddle to like try a hobby that I don't even know if I like, right? So for her to provide me paddles, provide me the community that was in the Seattle area, because how do I know anybody there? So helpful. She introduced me to a family in California, the Dawsons, who at the time were so helpful at the start of my career. So just a lot of people in my life supporting me and helping me through that transition period that made the decision to go pro so much easier, because doing it all alone, I mean, it's such a foreign concept, especially being, not knowing anything about it, working in a hospital to this whole new world. I mean, you have to have a good support system. Otherwise, it's like entirely not possible.
Yeah.
So, I really thank her and just everyone in my life who pushed me in that direction, including my coworkers at the hospital. When I ran out of PTO, I had to make a decision, like you were talking about the fork in the road. So I think when I finally ran out of PTO to travel for pickleball tournaments, I had to make a decision. Do I just go full-time pickleball, or do I stop pickleball and just keep working? And all my coworkers, they were like, I was only 22 at the time. They were all in their 30s. So they've lived a lot of life. And they said, you're so young, and nobody can say that they're choosing between work and pro pickleball. So you have to choose pro pickleball. And at the time, there was no money in pickleball, so it was definitely a leap of faith. I had to pretty much put my entire life on pause, this like plan that I had for myself to earn these hours and go to school and pursue this career in medicine, and just jump over into a world I had no idea about and had no money, and just kind of, I don't know, it all worked out. And I have the belief that really everything works out.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy. If I, at my age right now, I'm turning 26 soon, if I could tell my past self like what to do, I would tell them the same thing. So I'm really glad that I listened to my coworkers and I had the support that I did.
Awesome. From what I'm hearing, I think you follow your heart, follow your true passion, and that's important. I'm curious, like, obviously you had the tennis background, that will help, I think, your pickleball skills overall. But at what point did you realize, all right, I'm really great at this game. This can be for me.
Well, the first week, I think, was the hardest for me. That first week, you kind of have that tennis ego.
Yeah.
You're thinking, I don't know, like I've played tennis my whole life, 15 plus years, and now I'm playing like a smaller sport, like I don't know, like some people think it's
not even a sport.
Yeah, not even a sport, right? So I'm thinking I bring all this experience, high level tennis, to a not real sport. Like I must be good right away. And I'm telling you, to every tennis player out there who thinks it's easy, it's not easy at all. And that first week was really hard for my ego. Yeah. And I tell everyone, if you want to be good at pickleball, the first step is to put aside your ego. And then once you can do that and just enjoy the sport and enjoy learning, it is really, really so much fun, because every day now, 3 years into my career, I'm learning something every day. I'm drilling and I feel something different, and I'm like, whoa, that is so cool. And in tennis, I mean, I don't know, as you grow up, right, you play it your whole life. At some point you stop learning and you more just like get better at very fine skills. But in pickleball, I feel like you can learn something every day, and that's what makes it so fascinating. Yeah. So yeah, I would say, was there a moment I felt like I was good all of a sudden? No, because I'm always learning. But it is rewarding, like when you play tournaments and maybe you have good results and you feel like your hard work has paid off, that maybe kind of like lets yourself know, oh, wait, I'm good, the results. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, if you can just have fun with it, I think that's the most important part.
I love the last part. Like having fun is super important.
Yeah.
Especially with pickleball as a young sport, relatively speaking. I believe you turned pro like 2023.
Summer.
All right. And then ever since, I think you went out, played against like top pickleball players. You name it, like Anna Bright, Georgia Johnson's, etc. So I want to dig into a little bit about your like pro pickleball players live. Okay, so for example, like this year you had so many tournaments. As I mentioned, you played with Chicago Flyers and you won the PPA Australia Open. If you could just pick one, either tournament or match, that maybe like define your pickleball career at this point, which one would you say?
Yeah, definitely my most proud moment was winning Australia, because there's really no other feeling than winning gold, right? That's everyone's goal and dream. And then just to be able to do it at PPA's first international stop after a week of like traveling through Sydney and exploring Melbourne. I mean, it was just the perfect 2 weeks for me. It was so great. But I would say the most defining part probably was my very, very first PPA that Anna Bright invited me to play with her.
Yeah.
Because Anna Bright was already a big name in the sport. And I don't know if the audience knows this, but me and Anna were teammates in college.
Yeah.
And so I've known Anna my entire life, even way before college. I think we date back to like probably when we were 10 years old, we were playing tennis. So I think it's so like cool and full circle that she was able to be my first ever PPA partner just by chance. And we got to the semis, and I think just like being new to the scene and being friends with Anna, I don't know, it just kind of like skyrocketed my career, and like everyone's like, who is this girl? Who's Anna playing with? So I think that's probably the most like definitive part of my career, but definitely my proudest moment was winning gold this year.
Yeah. I saw your press conference with Anna, and that was fascinating. I can feel the smiles, so that's very warmly. On the matches, Vivian, so you had so many amazing experiences on the court. I know it must be like very different, like to compete at such a highest level with world top athletes. I'm curious, like how you prep your game.
Yeah. So I would say the biggest thing that I focus on is just drilling. Every day I'm drilling something that maybe something that I like, something that I don't like, everything, right? And I think that gives me the most confidence when going into a tournament. As far as when I'm actually at the tournament, I don't do anything crazy. Maybe this is bad, but I don't study film. I really don't watch, because I know my game, and if I know that I can play the best to my ability, then I will do the best on the court. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if I focus too much on my opponents, I have to hit it to this shot because they don't like it here. I have to do this. I don't know. It's too much in my brain.
Yeah.
If you ask another pro, I'm sure like a lot of people do study film and whatever, but I know that if I focus on myself, that is my best result. Yeah. So that's what I do. I just train a lot, and then going into the tournament, I have the confidence that I put in the work, and that if I play my best game, then that's the best that I will do. Yeah.
Sounds like maximizing your strengths.
Yeah,
focusing
for sure.
on your strengths.
Yeah, actually, one more thing to add to that, like you just said, I think in the beginning of my career, before I knew exactly who I was as a player, I had a lot of voices telling me what kind of game I should play, what kind of shots I should hit. And sometimes it's helpful, but I think being so new, I was just listening to everyone and kind of changing who I was as a player based on what this person said to me. And maybe they weren't even like, they didn't even have my best interest in mind, you know? Yeah. So I think as I've developed as a person and a player throughout my career, I've been more secure in my game and who I am as a player, that I don't have to listen to, you should do this more, you should do this more. And I just go out and am confident in myself. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So I would say to anybody maybe new in their career, definitely listen to people, but take it with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, you are your own player, you are your own person. So everyone brings different strengths to the table. And if you can just play to your strengths, like you said, and not worry about all the nuance and what you maybe should be doing. There's no right way in pickleball. I think that's the coolest thing. You see so many different players, technique, game styles. There's not a single right way you should be doing that. And that's something I had to learn. So if this is helpful for anyone, then that's good.
Yeah, that's gold. Knowing yourself is probably the most hardest thing, but the most important thing on the court, right? And sometimes, including myself, like we get solicited or unsolicited feedback, right? Like, hey, you should try this. Hey, maybe you should, do this more. And I think for playing pickleball, it brings a lot of stress sometimes. And I want to talk about stress because as a pro player, unlike maybe other career, for example, like sports doctor you mentioned, you get results like week in, week out, right? You win, you lose, right? You have this like ups and downs. So how do you like handle all these external forces that try to change who Vivian is? What's your like tactic?
Yeah, no, that's a great question and something I love. I'm very passionate about talking about. When I first started, like I said, all the noise, all the things people were saying about me just hit so hard. Like if I would lose and someone's like, wow, Vivian sucks, I would be like, oh my gosh, I suck. Like I would really like think that, and it would affect my mental health. And those first 6 months on tour, because it was so new, so fast, and I played literally every tournament, I didn't know how to pace myself yet because it was just new. I was just trying to put myself out there as much as possible. It was really, really hard for me. And I think going into 2024, I made the goal for myself, I'm going to schedule myself, like not burn myself out, because it's a long, long season. I mean, it's the whole year. We pretty much don't have an off season. Yeah. And so you really do have to take care not only of your physical health, but of your mental health. I think that's overlooked a lot, and not putting your worth on your results. I think that's so easy to do as an athlete. Any athlete in any sport can attest to this. Like when your whole life is dedicated to that sport, people kind of forget that you're also just a human. Yeah. Like you're just a girl, you're just a boy. You have a life outside of pickleball that people overlook, and sometimes they don't even care, you know? If you share something that's not pickleball related, they're like, get back to work.
Not working.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And so I think throughout my career, like I said earlier, the more secure I've been with myself, I know who I am as a player, I know who I am as a person, and if you can just come to that, I don't know, like that peace, then all the outside noise goes away. And I do not even, a lot of people are like, don't read the comments. It's impossible not to read the comments, right? Yeah. It's in your face. So I still see the comments, but I am like really proud of myself that the comments don't faze me. And I know too that the people commenting, I always tell myself, they do not have the life that we have. Yeah. They are not fortunate enough to have the life we have. So sometimes I just feel bad that they have to say mean things through a cellular device, you know? Because if they, I think there's a quote, the lion does not concern itself with the opinion of the sheep. Have you heard of it?
Oh, yeah. Love it.
So if you're doing big things, successful things, you're making a lot of money, you're not online saying mean things about other people who are successful. Yeah. So I think just that mindset and growing as a person and a player throughout my career, like I said, and just my life, just growing up and becoming an adult, I think I've learned so much, and I've just become so much like more at peace and more happy in
Love
my life.
it.
Yeah.
Well said, Vivian, because I think that goes back to what you mentioned earlier, like knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you know yourself, then you kind of have that ability to shut down all the other external noises and pressure. So I think these two will kind of go hand in hand, help each other. That's fascinating. For a lot of pickleball fans online, I think they know you're such a great pickleball player, and they want to know things from you. I know you've been on a few clinics, like in Taipei. So I want to maybe take the chance to offer some support to those who are tuning in. I know this cannot be like a real clinic, and we have limited time, but I guess based on your observation overall, for especially like rec players, right? They're not playing pickleball for like a career. They just play for fun. What was like your biggest observations, or if you can just pick one like tip for them to enjoy this sport or play better, what would that be for those who are listening or watching? Yeah,
well, the first thing I always ask people is if they are trying to get better or if they're just trying to have fun.
Yeah.
And you can have fun while trying to get better. It's not exclusive. But the reason I ask that is because if you are trying to get better, you have to drill. But if you are just trying to go out and play with your friends and not get better, then you don't have to drill. You just need to play. And I think what I notice most in the amateur game is a lot of hitting as hard as you can, right? I've heard so many times from my students, they're like, how do I combat the bangers? Because there's no dinking in this game. Like, I just go out and they're hitting as hard as I can, and I feel like I have to hit as hard as I can. The reason they are able to get away with that is because you have not drilled the skills to combat that.
Yeah.
Okay, does that make sense?
Not familiar enough to those situations, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want to get better, you have to be able to slow it down.
Yeah.
So for people to skip that step and just say, like, I don't know, they think there's a magic pill, but there's no magic pill. You just have to drill and you have to get every shot perfect.
Yeah.
And you're human. You're never going to be perfect, but the more you drill, the more you see those shots, the more perfect you will be. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I get a lot of people asking me about the banging, but it's you control the pace. I always give the example of Ben Johns. If you watch Ben Johns, no matter who he's playing, he's played the best people in the world, and he's never rushed. He's played people that hit so hard, and he takes his time. He hits the shots that he knows how to hit, and he's always, calm. And so for amateur rec players, they're like, it's so fast. I have to play fast. Like, you don't. You control the tempo. So I always say just keep drilling and learn how to deal with that, because that's not a good excuse to, like, fall into that trap, if that makes sense.
Makes
so,
sense. Yeah.
To your question, if there's one, sorry, that was a long-winded way of saying if there's one thing you need to focus on is just drilling. Because if you go out and just fall to, like, what everyone else is doing, then you'll just be one of them and you won't get better.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
My main takeaway from this, Vivian, is first you got to decide, like, which pathway you want to be on. Like, are you playing for fun or are you playing for, like, better, right? That's different. And most of the people that I know, like, they don't put the drilling into their routines because it's boring.
It's boring and it's annoying, really. When I started, I was like, what? You want me to dink, like, this dink? What is that? Like, you want me to do that an hour?
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous. But then I think we were talking about the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah.
I'm, like, a big psychology nerd. But basically, like, when you first start pickleball, you think you're God. You think you're untouchable. You think the sport is easy. You think this is ridiculous, right? Then the more you play, you realize how hard the sport is, how much you don't know, and how bad you are, okay? Yeah. And then it gets to the point where you drill because you are dedicated to getting better. And then the more you drill, the better you get and the more knowledgeable you become. So I love thinking about that analogy, and I hope everyone can think about that too, because like I said in the very beginning, putting aside your ego is the number one step. And then if you decide, hey, I do want to get better at this sport, you really just have to put your head down and practice.
It sounds like there's no shortcut. You just got to put in a lot of repetitions, drillings. And on the banging part, I know you talked about, like, slowing the game from Ben Johns. I think that's an amazing skill. And I think that's sometimes my observation too. Like, people seem to hit stronger with stronger. Like, from the bangers, they believe they got to go harder at them. But I think from what you're saying, like, for those top players, they have this amazing skill to diagnose the game and then slow it down. And that's an important skill set to have. Yeah,
something I like to say to people is the game is as slow as you make it. And opposite, it's as fast as you make it. So if you're immediately coming out and you're serving as hard as you can and you're returning as hard as you can and then you're hitting your third shot and then you're, like, swinging through midcourt, it's going to feel fast. It's going to feel chaotic.
Yeah.
And I just want people to just, like, be like, I can make it as slow as I want. I can make it as fast as I want. So you don't need to, just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
It's not that fast. It's really not that fast.
It's a plastic ball at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
I'm joking. Very good. We want to switch to your trip, like in Asia overall. It's great to have you in Taipei, but I know you've been to other places, so maybe talk us through, like, your recent trip, what's your takeaway, where you've been to.
Yeah, so most of my trip has been here in Taipei, which, like I said, it's been so cool getting to see the big city. 2 days I went to see my family in Tainan and also in Kaohsiung, and it was This is my first time back since 2019.
Yeah.
And also first time back since being like a full adult and also here on my own. Every time I've been to Taiwan, it's been with my mom, with my sister, and I'm always like with my family. So honestly, this is like in my new era, what I consider my very first real trip to Taiwan, to really see it as an adult. In my new career too, like teaching pickleball and getting to see the growth of the sport here. Mm-hmm. So it's been like so exciting and so new for me. And even though I've like done things in my 8, 9, 10 times of being here, I don't even remember it. So it really is not even relevant. So yeah, everything I've seen here, every city I've gone to, down south, Tainan, Kaohsiung, we went to Beitou yesterday. We're going to Jiufen today, is that how you say it?
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
So every single city has its unique, landscape that has been just so cool to kind of see. Yeah.
On the growth of pickleball, you mentioned, I'm curious, like, you've seen so much, for example, like in the U.S., and now I think you're, teaching some players, maybe locally here, seeing a bit of glimpse like what the pickleball in Taiwan or Asia overall may look like. Any quick like observations, from the players or from those who you're engaging with? Any differences that stood out to you?
Yeah, I think there's just a lack of coaches here.
Yeah.
So I think it's been really cool that I've been able to bring some of my knowledge here because the players I've seen just don't have the right guidance.
Yeah.
And I know that they're so talented and they work so hard. I mean, the Asian community, everybody knows, like, some of the hardest working people on this earth. So I think they have the potential and they have the work ethic to be so great. And if we can get more coaching out here or just have them exposed to, like, maybe U.S. coaches who put out videos that they can access, I think they can be so good. And one thing that has just been so, I guess, like, not a culture shock, but like something I notice is in the U.S. when I teach clinics all day, it's like all day people are at the pickleball clubs. But here, people are so dedicated to their jobs that they will literally not sleep so that they can play pickleball. They'll come and play from like 8 p.m. to midnight. Yeah. And I don't see that in the U.S. because, maybe there's like more remote options or people, I hear all the time, they're like, oh, my boss thinks I'm working right now. Like they think I'm online right now, but I'm playing pickleball. So I think just the fact that people here are so dedicated that they will do their 8-hour shift or 10-hour shift of their job and then come play pickleball, it's actually so funny and great that they're so dedicated and willing to do that.
That speaks to the passion and the potential, I guess, of the pickleball, like in Taiwan or Asia overall. So a lot of players are now like learning, especially from the U.S., the top players, because it's a sport that comes with the origin in the U.S. And you mentioned like the coaching part. I think that's huge because I think this year is probably the first year I see a lot of cross exchange, for example, from the tournament levels, PPA Tour Asia, and there are a lot of Asian players going into the U.S. to compete. So I see there's more exchange overall, which is a great thing. And I know there are a lot of young players are on this path. And earlier we talked about like your career choice between a sports medicine doctor and the pro pickleball players. So I want to create a space, Vivian, maybe to give some overall advice to those young Asian players who are now maybe trying the same thing, choosing a traditional career path versus a sports that they love, they have passion. What would you recommend, from their thinking perspective?
I also really love talking about this. I think life is all about balance. And so I think coming from a tennis background, everybody who plays tennis knows this, but when you start at such a young age, you don't know what you want at 3 years old, at 5 years old, even at 7. You don't know what you want. And so it's your parents pushing you. And I think you definitely have to have parents that push you, but you also want to have balance in your life and still be a kid. And so what I've seen is a lot of tennis players get burnt out, or they end up hating the sport because it was not their decision to play and to train that much. Yeah. And so I really, really hope in the pickleball sphere, we are starting to see the younger generation training a lot. And that's not what this generation of pickleball has been, because pickleball has been so new that you see all the ex-tennis players or people from all different kinds of jobs come in and play pickleball as an adult. Yeah. It's been kind of like their new life. But now with there being money in it or more exposure, I think parents are now really pushing their young kids to start training, start being homeschooled. And it's turning a little bit more like the tennis path. And while it's okay to train and pursue your passion, I think to any parents listening, definitely still allow your kid to be a kid and try other sports and try other hobbies, do music, do dance, do, different things that they can be well-rounded as a person. Because I think even though pickleball is so fun, it does become kind of cultish, if you know what I mean, and it can consume your entire life. And as a kid, I really don't think that's beneficial long-term or short-term.
Well said.
So I guess that's my advice for the younger generation. Definitely play it and have fun, but still remember that you're a kid and you're allowed to do other things and you're allowed to hang out with your friends and you're allowed to go to restaurants and try new food, Never, with anything in life, whether you have sports in your life or not, never put all your eggs in one basket, right? Like it's just important as a human to be well-rounded and worldly, Yeah. So that's my advice on that.
That kind of helps me to recall something Federer said, like life is bigger than the court. And definitely bigger than pickleball court. So there's more than just playing pickleball. Yeah. And I think you nailed it. There's so many things that people can try, explore, and enjoy. Speaking of future, Vivian, I want to maybe lastly ask you a quick question, because last week, I think the pickleball community came to aware the news from the PPA organizations on the termination of the contract. We knew there was one unilateral news from the organization itself. But given the chance that we have today to talk to you, I want to maybe create a space for you to share openly your reactions and maybe, if you will, talk about your future plans as a whole.
Yeah, so that news definitely came as a shock to all of us. Four of us were in Japan, just for the people listening who don't know what happened. We went to Japan last week and we were teaching clinics with the Pickleball Japan Federation. And the UPA all sent us an email notifying us of a termination because we were maybe marketed as PPA players with a so-called competing organization. But yeah, I just want to let everyone know who maybe is confused about the situation. It was definitely not our intention to do anything against the league. We've done so much with the league and for the league. Yep. And we have such lucrative contracts that it really does not make sense to go and do this nonprofit event just trying to grow the sport in another country. We would not do that if we knew that our contracts were at risk. So to anyone listening, that was not our intention, and we're working right now to put out a public statement regarding that, and we hope that the PPA moving forward will work with us and kind of clear the air on that because it's definitely put our characters at risk.
Absolutely.
When that was definitely not our intention at all.
Good clarification. Thank you, Vivian. I think it's important for the pickleball community to hear your words.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, based on what you said, I think things are still unfolding, right? It's not conclusive yet.
No
so
conclusion
more things
yet.
may come out in the future. And we'll stay tuned.
Yeah. So we're working on that. And then as far as my future, yeah, I really want to continue growing the sport in Asia. I think, like we talked about earlier, there's so much potential here. There's so much, so many people that are passionate about the sport, and I don't know, it's given me such a great life, and if it can give more people great lives, that's just the end goal. So I think the more I can do in Asia, the better. And I'm working on my Mandarin. It's not good yet, but I have a team around me helping me. And just being in Taiwan this week, just hearing it all the time, I mean, there's nothing you can, nothing that replaces just being immersed in the culture and the language. So I really hope to be back many, many times more. And I'm really excited for the future, honestly. Just growing this way, and I'm turning 26 soon, so hopefully still at least 5 years in the sport, 5 to 10 years, and then after that, just keep helping the next generation, whether that's in coaching or in media or in agency. There's so many things you can do in sports, and I'm just so blessed that I've been able to be given this opportunity, not only to be a professional player, but to give back in other areas in this sport. So I'm really excited.
Me too. I know, at least from my side, and pickleball fans here, we would love to have you back more and more.
Thank you.
Will be great to see you more often here in Taiwan. Lastly, Vivian, as we close out the episode, I want to maybe give you a chance to greet your fans or those who cared about you or your sponsors, something in Mandarin. As you spoke about trying Mandarin, any things you may want to express, either English or Mandarin, doesn't matter. But as we close out for today.
I don't remember my Mandarin line. But yeah, no, I want to thank, in English, I want to thank all the people who have supported me, all the people who have welcomed me here in Taiwan. I want to thank my agency. I want to thank Wendy, who's here right now with me. She's part of my agency in the Taiwan office. All of them have been so helpful, especially in these times of contract, sticky situations all the time. They've just grounded me and helped me through life in general. Like you said, life is bigger than the pickleball court, and so I think it's easy to get caught up in all the drama, and I was getting really stressed with all the nuances, and to have a team support me through everything, and it just made me it's taken a load off my plate, and I've been able to enjoy life to the fullest, and that's the end goal, right? You just want to be happy, and so just to anyone out there supporting me and listening to this, thank you for supporting me, and I hope that we can grow the sport together.
Thank you for being on the show, and 谢谢.
谢谢.
Yes, you nailed it. 谢谢 to those who are watching or listening today, and 谢谢 Vivian and Wendy for making this possible. It's my honor to have you on Rally Now, and like I said, we look forward to having you back more and more, and help grow the sport here in Asia.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Thank you.